Welcome everyone to today's podcast. I am Mugdha Deshmukh and I'm excited to take you on a journey into the world of soap operas, a genre that has not just endured but has continuously evolved across different media platforms. Today, we'll explore how soap operas transitioned from radio to television and now to streaming platforms, and how these shifts have reshaped their audiences. So let's begin with the early days of soap operas, back in 1930s when they first aired on the radio. These serialized dramas often focused on domestic life and emotional storytelling. These were designed to be easy to follow even if you missed an episode. They typically featured ongoing narratives about family dynamics, romance, and personal struggles. Stories that resonated deeply with a predominantly female audience. The name soap opera itself comes from the soap manufacturers like Procter and Gamble, who sponsored these shows to reach housewives during the day. The radio format was simple, yet powerful. It relied heavily on dialogue and sound effects to create vivid scenes in the listener's imagination. For instance, you might hear the rustling of newspaper, the clicking of dishes, or the distant sound of baby crying, all bringing the drama to life in the listener's mind. These auditory cues were crucial as they helped to establish a connection between audience and the character's world. As television became more widespread in 1950s, soap operas made a significant transition in the new medium. Shows like As the World Turns, The Guiding Light became staples of daytime TV. On television, soap operas could now use visual elements, set designs, costumes, and facial expressions to enhance the storytelling. The camera work was often intimate, focusing on the close-ups that captured the emotional intensity of the characters' experiences. This shift from traditional to television also marked a change in the audience profile. While the core audience remained predominantly women, television brought soap operas into the living room, where they could be watched by entire families. The visual added a new layer of engagement, making the stories more relatable and immersive. However, as technology continued to evolve, so did the way we consume these narratives. Enter the digital age where content is available on demand, and streaming platforms have fundamentally altered the landscape. But it's also crucial to recognize that this shift didn't just affect the delivery method, but it also changed the audience profile and their engagement with the content. Unlike the collective viewing experiences of television, where families might gather to watch a soap opera, streaming platforms have individualized this experience. Viewers can now watch alone at their own pace and on their own devices. This has led to rise of binge watching, where entire series can be consumed in a single sitting. While this has increased convenience, it has also shifted the nature of audience engagement from a shared social activity to a more solitary one. Reflecting on my own experience, as I was growing up in a Maharashtrian household, I used to watch TV serials and soap operas with my mother and my grandma. My Ai and my Aji, as I call them. These were moments of connection and shared enjoyment. We watched Hindi and Marathi dramas, and it was just a part of our daily routine. But as I grew older, my viewing habits changed. I started consuming content on streaming platforms, shows that were more in line with my interests at this time. This personal shift mirrors the broader trend we're discussing today. To address this, let's focus on one of the critical questions. How have the engagement patterns of soap opera fans evolved with the advent of streaming platforms, and what does this reveal about broader changes in media consumption? This is where we start to see the broader significance of soap operas beyond just entertainment. With the rise of streaming platforms, the engagement patterns of soap operas fans have undergone significant changes. Traditionally, soap operas thrived on scheduled, appointment-based viewing. Fans turned it into the same time every day, creating a communal, often family-centered experience. But with platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and more such streaming platforms, this dynamic has definitely shifted. Streaming has enabled fans to binge watch entire series at their own convenience, and they have individualized their experiences. I think this change highlights a broader trend in media consumption where personalization and flexibility take precedence over shared collective viewing. While binge watching offers convenience, it has also fragmented the soap opera audience, transforming what was once a daily ritual into a solitary activity. It definitely reveals how media consumption today it's moving toward a model where content is tailored to our personal schedules and preferences rather than just being a part of shared cultural moment. But what's particularly interesting about streaming platforms is how they personalize content for each viewer. Services often use algorithms to analyze viewing habits and recommended shows that align with individual preferences. This kind of personalized engagement is something traditional TV could never offer. However, we must be careful not to celebrate this shift uncritically. As highlighted by Fatemi in Forbes' article, while streaming has revolutionized how we consume content, it has also introduced new complexities in how audiences engage with media. For instance, while younger viewers are more inclined toward binge watching and on-demand viewing, older audiences still view the structure of appointment viewing. This divergence in viewing styles suggests that the move of streaming is not a one-size-fits-all shift. It affects different segments of audience in distinct ways. So, what does the future hold for soap operas as they continue to adopt digital platforms? We have seen traditional soaps experimenting with web series and digital spin-offs. For example, CBS used their website IntoTube to create crossover content for As the World Turns and The Young and the Restless. These ventures highlights the genre's adaptability, but also the challenging of maintaining relevance in a crowded digital landscape. Moreover, as Elena Levine discusses in her work, soap operas have always and had a profound cultural and social impact. Just take the example of Jane Marsh, a dedicated viewer who documented her thoughts on soap operas and the Watergate hearings in the 1970s. Marsh's ability to perceive real-life events through the same narrative, lens, and fictional dramas highlights how soap operas can influence the way audiences understand social and political contexts. Marsh's long-term engagement with soap operas, from journaling in the 1970s to tweeting in recent years, also reflects how the genre has adapted to new platforms and maintained its relevance. So this shift from traditional to digital platforms has opened up new avenues for audience interaction, allowing viewers to engage with content in ways that were unimaginable a few decades ago. In conclusion, soap operas are more than just a form of entertainment. They are a reflection of our evolving media landscape. From radio to TV to streaming, they've adapted and survived by continually evolving alongside their audiences. So the next time when you find yourself engrossed in a drama-filled series, take a moment to appreciate the legacy behind it. You're not just watching a show, but you're actually participating in a tradition that has shaped our cultural and social understanding for nearly a century. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive in the world of soap operas and streaming platforms. Until next time, happy watching.